Alright, this is PM Insights at www.pminsights-talk.com. Alright, I did a recap on last Monday's RNC, the Republican Convention, so I'm just going to compile the last 3 days. The convention and discuss maybe a little bit about the Democratic convention because there's so much going on right now with that and with what the things the Republican Party is pulling now. So, this is just my recap. All right, on Tuesday every day they had a theme. The first night was I don't know, who knows? Make America First again. That was Wednesday. Was Make America First. Tuesday was Make America Work Again. Not one single word mentioned about how they're going to get you back to work or discussion of getting back to work. So I think Paul Ryan discussed a little bit, but I'm not sure. I don't know. But the speakers, Chris Christie spoke Tuesday night. He did his, because he was Attorney General for New Jersey before he was governor, and so he did a little fake trial with all those Republican conservative haters in the audience, and was bringing up things that Hillary has done. And, I know Hillary made mistakes. I understand that, but what Trump's doing now, you have two choices, and Trump's I don't know. I'm just gonna get a train and just hate me anywhere. Got my dog, got my puppies. Get the fuck out of here. Even his children, even their speeches were supposed to be about, the father and, blah, 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 yeah. Donald Trump Jr. mentioned, oh yeah, even though we were children of billionaires, he treated us like we were good. Their mothers, they got, he's got 5 children, 3 baby mamas. Okay? Those are those good old Republican, conservative family values at work. Because he married Ivanka first, and no one after he cheated on her with Marla, and then he married Marla and had a child. Because with Ivanka, he had 3 children, the 2 boys and the oldest girl, Ivanka. I get them confused. It doesn't matter. And then when he cheated on Ivanka with Marla, they had a child, Tiffany. And then he cheated on Marla, and she booted him out, and he got married again to the plagiarizer, Melania, I don't want to blame her. I don't think she's realized what she's got caught up in, but I think she does now, and I think she regrets it, and now they have another child. So, there's 5 children, 3 different baby mamas, Once again, like I said, it's those good old Republican conservative values, family values at work. So, Chris Christie did his little guilty, not guilty, got the crowd yelling, if you, blah, blah, guilty or not guilty. And the crowd was yelling guilty, and then they started going, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. And even Mitch McConnell, the little turtle, he even said he totally disapproved of that. Which is, come on, you don't get it's a hate. It was like the villagers with torches and picks, to knock down the castle wall. Just too bad. And then Chris Christie did that. He did his little speech, but then Hillary tweeted, something to the effect, I'll post it down here. Chris Christie wants to talk about ethics. They got a bridge. She got a bridge they can sell you. And then, of course, Paul Ryan spoke for a little bit. He had to gavel it in or something, whatever. He hates the idea that he has to introduce this man as their Republican nominee for president. But he has to do it. And then Donald Trump Jr. spoke, and my favorite, I think besides Chris Christie, my favorite speech of the night. And I'm going to take a little more time than I should on this, because I want to do this. But this is how nutball they are. This is what they'll stoop to make anyone look bad without doing their research, without just to stoop so low to be so to make themselves look so stupid. You know, if you have any brain, you'll know this is so stupid. But most people that support Trump will just go, "Oh my God, that's terrible. She's terrible." Um, he had Ben Carson made a speech. You know, he spoke for I think this picture. I think over here he's I think he's trying to point to where his brain used to be. So I'm not sure, but that was not at the convention. This is where my brain was. Okay, this is what your brain looks like on a conservative. Hillary wrote in college, you know, her senior year before her, you know, her first. She wrote a thesis on a book written by Sal Alinsky. He was a community organizer. He, you know, he wrote a book. The book it was 1971. He wrote the book Rules for Radicals, a practical primer for realistic radicals. The book offers advice to activists seeking to influence public policy, covering topics such as class differences and tactics such as disrupting meetings and winning media attention. Doesn't mean you're out there shooting people and killing. Just, you know, I worked with the union. We did the civil disobedience. So we said, you know, it was peaceful. But and he now that Ben Carson is having a fit. This guy wrote a book and acknowledges Lucifer, the original radical who gained his own kingdom. Now think about that, he says. This is our nation where our founding document, the Declaration of Independence, talks about certain alienable rights that come from our Creator. Once again, it doesn't say God. Creator, whoever you think your creator or believe your creator is. The Native Americans thought it was the sun, and the Hindus Buddha, and on and on. So, a nation where our Pledge of Allegiance says we are one nation under God. This is a nation where every coin in our pockets and every bill on our wallet says, "In God we trust." So are we willing to elect someone as president who has as their role model somebody who acknowledges Lucifer? So the entire book was read through. The only thing that was mentioned was at the beginning of the book, he did a foreword, Sal Alinsky. Lest we forget, and this was the only reference in the entire book to Lucifer. Only. It was just making an interesting point, and it just went over Ben Carson's. Boom. He must have done some brain surgery on himself one night practicing, and he didn't even leave a sponge. He just left it empty up there. What the acknowledgement was, least we forget at least one over-the-shoulder acknowledgement to the very first radical. You know, over the shoulder. The first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did it so effectively that he at least won his own kingdom. Lucifer, Sal Alinsky. The rest of the book, there's not one discussion or mention of Satan or Lucifer in the book. This is just how they just want to associate Hillary with anything evil and bad. They can't prove too much more what she's done right now. They're making up this stupid shit that she did. It's a thesis in college, you know, 650 a year. Oh, okay. So that's just how, you know, where they're going with everything here. You know, it's pretty ridiculous. And then Wednesday was Make America First Again, and no mention of that through the whole speech. Of course, the big night that night was Ted Cruz, you know, failed to endorse Donald Trump, and he was booed off the stage, and Trump was right there, you know, to steal his limelight, and just to be there to cover, you know, he was there. One night he was there via video, but he's been there every night. He was there every night. He can't miss a thing. He's got to be the star. You know, it's all about him. And he knew that Cruz wasn't going to endorse him, but he let him to give a speech anyway. Now Cruz is using the speech as a in his next campaign, running for president in 2020. Heidi Cruz had to be escorted out by the Secret Service because she was being heckled and threatened, and Ted Cruz went to some after speech gathering that he was invited to, but when he didn't endorse Trump, they just went crazy on him and booed him out of that room. And someone that was still in the party, one of their representatives or part of their team, had to be physically taken off of Cruz. I guess he wanted to beat him down. All right. And of course, we still don't know who Mike Pence is because his speech was overshadowed by the whole Ted Cruz thing. And then, except he's contradicting what Trump says, like in foreign policy, especially to do with NATO. Pence has different. It's a mess. And then Newt Gingrich, introduced by his third wife. A third wife. There's those good old conservative American family values at work for you again. Third wife. Okay. And he flip-flopped. The week before this, he was trying to still think he was going to make it be vice president, and he was out there how this is, we're going to investigate and interrogate every Muslim in the country, and no more Muslims are coming in. And then later that day, like they all do, like they'll say one thing, and later the day they'll go back on it. So he went back on it, and then he went back on it, and then so just listen to this and, compare, see what, unbelievable, double standards, lies.
Is in a war. We should, frankly, test every person here who is of a Muslim background, and if they believe in Sharia, they should be deported. Sharia is incompatible with Western civilization. We need to be fairly relentless about defining who our enemies are. Anybody who goes on a website favoring ISIS or Al-Qaeda or other terrorist groups, that should be a felony, and they should go to jail. Any organization which hosts such a website should be engaged in a felony. It should be closed down immediately.
The news media will do their best to distort this. We have nothing to fear from the vast majority of Muslims in the United States or around the world. The vast majority are peaceful. They are often the victims themselves. They are people we'd be happy to have as our friends and neighbors. The challenge is when even a small percentage of 1,600,000,000 people support violence against those who disagree with them. That is still a giant.
Of course, he's talking about Sharia law too and all that. You can't have Sharia law. It's against the Constitution. Just like you can't have biblical law. For division of church and state, people. I wish they would. I don't know how they don't understand that yet. And then the last night when Trump gave his hour and 20-minute speech, and it went so long because the applause for it was so long. He will be the president of Law and Order. It doesn't explain how, but he's going to be. Things have to change right now. Doesn't say how or why or how he's going to make things change or no. Once again. And he will protect the LGBT, like someone said. It sounded like it was the first time he's ever said. And he's going to destroy. He's going to smash ISIS to smithereens, and right away. But we don't know how. He hasn't said how. Although today he did tweet that, no, I don't. People don't know how I'm going to deal with ISIS, but that's a good thing. Like he's keeping it a secret from them too. At least give us a little bit of a clue what this is going to take. Because they're watching everything. They use them in a commercial, for ISIS. No immigration from no one from any kind of a Islamic country. That's did any kind of attack. It was just a group of 10 people over here that try to attack this country. The whole nation will be barred from entering this country. He wants to drop NATO, which his vice president disagrees with. So that's the wrap up on that. And then there's just all the shit that this crazy man has been saying. I just cannot believe that, Paul Ryan put a speech out there. And then, the one thing I'm talking about too is the plagiarism thing. That John Gotti guy, Paul Manafort, for 36 hours, lied about it. Lied. And they finally had to come clean. Yes, it was. It was so obvious. You look at and compare them side by side, how obvious that is. The plagiarism. And so they came clean. And then they talk about lying Ted and crooked Hillary. Well, you all just lied like shit. Okay, what the fuck? Don't throw a stone. You live in a glass house. Don't throw a stone. And then, just, they don't, how, it's ridiculous. So anyway, he lied about that. His campaign manager, Paul Manafort, he thought it was, and then he's gloating about how the Democratic convention is going to be, a big mess and all that. They had their disruption, but I think they're smoothing things over. Okay? That'll be later. With my Democratic, go along with my Democrat DNC recap and that kind of thing. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And Trump still thinks he had the best convention ever in the world. Ever, the best one ever. Well, I'm sorry. The only thing he can complain about was the set. The set looks, terrible set. It's terrible. The Republican convention was much better. The set was terrible, and there's no flags. Okay, just because you drape yourself in the flag, because you have to, because you're covering something, like why you're not releasing your taxes, because you're covering something, so, they don't have to reveal it in their tax forms and all that, but it's people have, and now it's like, okay, you're just saying it more and more, like for 36 hours, going on about how Melania did not plagiarize that speech, knowing full well that she did. You could have nipped it in the bud and had less talk about it so you made a big deal for a day and a half, then it was your fault. So I think just release your taxes, because right now it's like you're hiding something. Well, what's obvious now, wait till the audit's over. Audit. How long they fucking auditing you for? And that would probably reveal any kind of business tie, which he tried to do in Russia, which he's denying that. So he has his ties in Russia. When he had the Miss Universe pageant there in Moscow, he would make it a deal with the billionaire over there to build some Trump towers, but somehow it fell through. So he's got his people over there. So who knows what this man is capable of? Oh my gosh. And he's going to have the codes for the new... okay. All right, I got to go. God bless. And see you around like a donut. And this is my final Republican recap. We'll start Democrat recap tomorrow.